Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Gaur Premanande Jayam Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parirajakara Stotra Sata Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinde Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parirajakara Stotra Sata Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Itai Gaura Premanande All glories assembled devotees All glories assembled devotees All glories Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadirahe Nastapurayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishchaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 31. Iti dvapara uru isha sunvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena kalau api tata shunu. Iti dvapara uru isha sunvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena kalau api tata shunu. Iti dvapara uru isha sunvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena kalau api tata shunu. Please chant. Iti dvapara uru isha sunvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena kalau api tata shunu. Iti dvapara uru isha sunvanti jagadishwaram nana tantra vidhanena tata kalau api tata shunu. Okay, translation, what word meaning? Iti, thus, dvapare, in the Dwapara age, Uruisha, O king, Suvanti, they praised, Jagadishwaram, the Lord of the universe, Nana, various, Tantra, of scriptures, Vidhanena, by the regulations, Kalo, in the age of Kali, Api, also, Tata, in which manner, Shrunu, please hear. Translation and purport by disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: O King, in this way people in Dwapar Yuga glorified the Lord of the universe. In the Kali Yuga also people worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by following the various regulations of the revealed scriptures. Now kindly hear of this from me. Purport: the word Kalavapi in the Kali Yuga also are very important in this verse. It is well known that Kali Yuga is an irreligious age. Thus it is surprising that in such a completely irreligious age, the Supreme Lord is worshipped. Therefore, it is stated Kalavapi even in the Kali Yuga. In the Kali Yuga, the incarnation of the personality of Godhead does not directly assert himself to be the personality of Godhead, but rather he is detected by expert devotee in accordance with the revealed Vedic scriptures. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj states in Srimad Bhagavatam 7th Canto 9th chapter 38th verse, Itiyam nigraha rishi deva jignvasvate lokan vibidhas yasya hasamsi jagat pratitapan dharman mahapurusho pasi yugavataras chanam kalau yat abhisitri yugo atyahi swagam. In this way, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saintly demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in a different planetary system and killing the demonic principles according to the age. O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the age of Kali Yuga, however, you don't assert yourself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Three Yuga, or the Lord who appears in the three yugas. Thus, it is understood that it is difficult for a common people in the Kali Yuga to recognize the incarnation of the Lord, since in this age Lord's appearance is slightly concealed. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the word Nana Tantra Vidanena indicates that the importance in Kali Yuga of the Vaishnava scriptures known as Panchatatras or Satayeswara Panchatattva. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavatam, Stri Sudra Vijabandhunam Traina Shruti Gochara. In Kali Yuga, it is impossible for ordinary people to perform highly technical Vedic sacrifice or the unbearable penance of the mystic yoga system. Such a standard Vedic process are practically incomprehensible for the spiritual retired population of Kali Yuga. Therefore, the simple process of glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting His holy names in celestial in this age, essential in this age. Such a devotional process as chanting the holy name of the Lord and worshipping the deity form are elaborately described in the Vaishnava Shastras known as Panchachatras. Such tantric scriptures are referred in this verse, and it is stated that Kali Yuga is this devotional process, taught by the great acharyas such as Narada Muni, are the only practical means for worshipping the Lord. This will be more clearly explained in the following verse. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Gnananjana-salakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrajatam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Good morning. Thank you for coming Srimad Bhagavatam class. So today, this verse describes how people in this age of Kali worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is described here that in the age of Kali, there are so many things are prominent. One is irreligion, zero austerity, and another thing is always disturbed mind. These things, three things are always prominent. Out of these three things, one is always prominent, which is always disturbed. Correct. So, here it is said that now kindly hear this from me, Tata Shrunu. This word Tata Shrunu you find in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. In the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Tata Shrunu, Shrunu me abhigacchati, and in 7th chapter. So Krishna is here making more emphasis on hearing process. Out of the 9 processes of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vanjanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Out of all, first process is Shravanam. When you hear more, same subject matter, like whether it is Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, CC, the devotional part or devotional thing which is there in your heart, it will be awakened. There is a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It describes that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karya Udai. So this is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. It is already there in our heart, which is a dormant state. To awaken that, we need to put some hearing through transcendental sound vibrations. Just like you may relate to this example, in India you see the hand pump where people in the villages, we just put the hand pump and water comes out from that. So what will happen is that is a kind of, those who don't know hand pump, it is like where now we have motors, it will drag the water from the ground water. So now they had a hand pump, just like if you press, the water will comes out. So in the summertime, what happens is so much heat, and even in that ground, this water is also dried. So what happened in that, people when try to pull the water from the ground, it doesn't comes out. What they do is they just take a little water in the bucket and they pour through the pump, and when the water reaches the ground, when immediately you pump that, then immediately whole water comes out. Correct. So similarly, our heart, which is always covered with so many anarthas and so many things, which to awaken the dormant love of Krishna is very, very difficult. So through the ears, it goes like Krishna Katha and it comes out. So similar, this logic will apply when you hear the Krishna Katha on a regular basis. That's why it says Nityam Bhagavata Sevayam. It is not Bhagavata Saptaha. In India, there are so many places there's Bhagavat Saptaha. There's nothing wrong doing in Bhagavat Saptaha. But at the same time, after Bhagavat Saptaha, what you do, that's a question. You go back to the same routine life, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, or you change your life. Of course, these 4 things will be there, eating, sleeping, mating, defending will be there. But at the same time, the consciousness is different. The consciousness person who is eating is different. The consciousness person who is working, it will be different. Because that consciousness will become a Krishna consciousness where he knows what he is doing and why he is doing. You know, just like eating is a common thing. I'm sorry, today is Ekadashi, I'm speaking on eating. So eating is a common thing, but nobody can survive without eating. But the thing is that when you offer to the something to the Lord and eat that particular foodstuff, and it will become prasadam, and it will transform your heart and mind. Because when you offer something, it becomes the sanitized food, auspicious. So similarly, in this age of Kali, there has to be taught each and every process by hearing. Krishna consciousness is by hearing. Srila Prabhupada started our movement by chanting and hearing. You know, in the New York Tompkins Square Park, he did not do any kind of a magic there. He just chanted. And the process of is simple, but sometimes we feel it's not easy. While chanting, we should hear. So, when now here also, Narada Muni says, now kindly hear this for me. He says that in this irreligious age, it is surprisingly that such a people completely religious in this age, but still they worship. And in the Kali Yuga, the personality of Godhead is not directly manifest. Like as we see in the same 11th canto, Krishna Varanam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangasya Parshadam. So, he manifests in this age of Kali Yuga. He takes incarnation, but nobody recognizes him. Only few able to recognize. Well, see in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastime, where there are very few members, few devotees who recognize is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is same as Krishna. He did not reveal himself, and he demonstrated how a devotee should perform devotional service. And at the same time, few devotees have recognized, and he told them particularly, don't reveal this to anyone. Correct. And in this age of Kali Yuga, it is very, very difficult to understand who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Speaking about for myself, before coming in contact with Krishna consciousness ISKCON movement, I also don't know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm sure none of us know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there. We see that, okay, on the altar, we understand Radha Krishna, and we understand, okay, there is a Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai, because we know that's their deity, and we don't know who these personalities are raising their hands in the air. And that was first question for me when I went to the ISKCON temple, Hare Krishna temple, and I saw that Radha Krishna deity I can understand, because by the culture of the background we know that Radha Krishna are prominent, and I don't know who is the person standing beside Krishna raising his hands. So know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to know his pastimes, to understand who he is, only by the mercy of the devotee we can understand. And it will take some time to understand, or to realize, or to at least theoretically understand he is the incarnation of the God. We may put so many arguments, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? We never heard in any Puranas. There is no mention in Bhagavatam. We know only 1 to 10 avatars. After that, there is nothing that you people, ISKCON or Hare Krishna, manifest Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No, because the one prominent reason is that Krishna wants to cover himself. That is his whole mood and mission. He wants to cover himself, and who can reveal except his devotees? Just like Srila Prabhupada, on that day we were reading pastimes, Prabhupada Lilamritam, his father was explaining, when Krishna, Lord wants to give with his 10 hands, how much he can hold. When Lord wants to take with his 10 hands, how much he can, keep it with yourself. So just like that, if Krishna, he himself, he has incarnated as a devotee, and how can you understand? Only through the mercy of the devotee, only through the mercy of the acharyas. Even here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj also says that you appear in these various incarnations as a human being, animal, or a great saintly demigod, or a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in the different planetary system and killing the demonic principles. So according to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principles of religion. So in the age of Kali, however, you do not assert yourself as a supreme personality of Godhead, therefore you are known as Triyuga. So he says that in this age you don't incarnate, but at the same time you incarnate. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we see he has demonstrated so many pastimes in Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he told how a devotee should be there. He demonstrated how one should perform devotional service, and in the same time, like in this age, we cannot see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we cannot see the form, we cannot see his pastimes, but you can see his pastimes, you can understand his pastimes, and you feel that ecstasy. How yesterday I was sharing books distribution. While you are doing books distribution, there will be no person will be interested and nobody will be excited. As you set up the book table or you go out to do books distribution, nobody will say, "Oh, I was waiting for this Bhagavad Gita for many years. Thank you. Please give it to me. Oh, how much is that Bhagavad Gita? I want to read that. Please give me. I want to read Bhagavad Gita." Nobody will come to us. Correct? Have you seen any experience like when you go on street for books distribution? Is anybody eagerly waiting for you to come? No. Rather than they will say, "Get out of here. I don't want to see this." No. When each person says no, that will be discouraging for you, but in a spiritual bank account that will add a credit. Just like you spend on a credit card, you'll add a point, chick, but you are spending money there in a credit card or debit card, but in your spiritual bank account your points will be added. Like as many as you hear no from the people, that many credit scores will be credited in spiritual bank account. And after hearing so many no's, just meditate upon no. After that so many no's, and one person will take the book. When you see that one person is eagerly waiting for that book, when he takes that book, it happens that you will not preach him so much, you just show the book, immediately he will grasp it. So that joy in that moment, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I personally hug them. We don't feel Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugging, but that feel of joy, that moment of happiness is the hugging of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, that is the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's moment, Hare Krishna. So people will experience so many, kind of challenges while doing books distribution, discouragement, no encouragement. Nobody will appreciate you, what you are doing. Rather, people criticize you, people blaspheme you, and out of all that, to go on the street, it will be so uncomfortable because you are coming out of the comfort zone. If you are doing all those things, and at that moment, if somebody takes your book from you, and that happiness you cannot pay by millions of dollars. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are very, innumerable, and they are ocean of pastimes. And at the same time, it's not only meant for books distribution while chanting the holy name also. You know. While, for example, when you are doing kirtan, suppose nobody will be there, especially here, no mridang, no kartal. You just keep harmonium and keep playing for a half an hour, 20 minutes, or 1 hour. At some point of a time, you will get that joy. Have you experienced sometimes? Or on the streets when you are chanting, nobody will be there, nobody is watching you, nobody is paying attention to you, but you feel to chant because temple commander or temple authorities ask you to do, so you just do it. But when you keep doing that, what you are doing, and suddenly you feel that kind of happiness pops up in your heart. That joy, to get that, you have to have a patience. That's why in the nectar of instruction, utsaha nichaya dhairya tat karma pravattanat. What is it? In the devotional service, whatever you do, you got to have utsaha, enthusiasm. And not only utsaha, enthusiasm, dhairya, patience. If you just have enthusiasm, no patience, then it is zero. If you just have patience, no enthusiasm, then that is also with zero. It should be a parallel thing. You should have utsaha, you should have also dhairya. Both should go run parallelly. One may ask how we can do both parallelly. You have patience. When you have patience, you read the same thing, then that will become yours. Just like when you read a particular chapter in the Bhagavad Gita regularly, then that will become yours. You will become so dear to that, and that chapter will become so dear to you. Take for example 7th chapter, 6th chapter, or 9th chapter, or 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. To get that nectar, you have to keep trying. Because we are not looking for the lower taste or cheaper temptations, or we are not here for that, jerk. The moment you do something, you'll feel jerk, so you feel like doing. No. For the higher taste, for higher cause, you got to strive higher. You got to put effort higher. Just like you cannot become a billionaire in overnight. One may say, no, if I buy a lottery ticket, it will become. No. Out of thousands, one may be getting, but not is all the cases. So when you have enthusiasm, when you do with the enthusiasm, when you associate with the persons or devotees who has that enthusiasm, then naturally that enthusiasm will be, imparted in your heart. Then you've performed that activity. But if you're not only feeling, okay, I am having nice time and eating, sleeping, doing things necessary, and Lord will also say, okay, if you're happy, keep doing this. Ye yata mam prapatyante tam sitaiva bhajamyam. Whatever you are doing, if you are doing with the, interestingly, how I can serve, that should be the meditation. How I can serve today Krishna. Whether by preaching, or whether by doing some activity, or whether by, doing something which awakens my Krishna consciousness, that should be the meditation. If you have that kind of a meditation, then Krishna reveals new thoughts in our mind. So that will encourage. Because what happens is that when you do the same things every day regularly, it keeps boring to our mind. That's why mind runs for sense gratification. When you don't want your mind to run for sense gratification, you have to do differently in our Krishna consciousness movement. Like that's why people are outstanding. You see, Each Maharaj, each saintly person, each sannyasi is doing differently. That's why he's outstanding. For example, some uh, sannyasis, they do college preaching. Some sannyasis, they do village preaching. Some sannyasis, they do festivals. Just like Indradumna Swami Maharaj is known for festivals. Some sannyasis, they do retreats. And at the same time, some sannyasis, they do only emphasis on Shastra studies. Because Krishna consciousness is not like a monotology. Okay, only you should read Bhagavad Gita. Only you should read Bhagavatam. Only you should read this thing. No. You read something and that will become your own. Just like, when you spend more time, more energy on some things, then you will become expert in that. Just like if you don't know cooking, if you have enthusiasm, you spend more time there, you spend more energy there, then one day you'll become expert in cooking. And in the same way, devotees, there are so many devotees, like they are expert in some areas. Just like people in this our Krishna consciousness movement, some devotees, they are expert in Bhagavad Gita, describing stories. Some devotees are expert in Kirtan, and some devotees are expert in giving seminars on holy name. Like that, how do you think they get it? It's not that they are neglecting other part of it, but they are attached to something. To just give an example, for example, Shravanam is classic example of Parikshit Maharaj. Kirtanam is classic example of Sukadeva Goswami. And in that thing, they have invested, they have felt enthusiasm in that particular aspect, and they became prominent. Just like Hanuman has a mood of servant, and Arjuna has a mood of friendship. You cannot say, Hanuman, why you are doing this rasa? Arjuna is as a friendship, he is experiencing more rasa or more joy or more enthusiasm. Why can't you change your position? No, Hanuman will beat up. He cannot go to the friendship mode and put a hand around the shoulder of Lord Ram, let's go for the forest. He cannot have that mood. But at the same time, Arjuna cannot have that mood of Dasya, because they grew up with Krishna as a friendship mode. But the underlying principle is how I can serve Krishna, how I can serve Lord Rama. Similarly, Kunti Maharani, though she was seeing as a nephew, but at the same time underlying mode is how can I serve him. So that is the mode, and that is the thing. So in this age of Kali, as I said, there are different people, and their day by day degradation is very, very prominent, especially in particularly this age. Everything, materialistic people, they are taxing their brains, they are taxing their thoughts, how I can attract with the products. They are taxing. Srila Prabhupada also said, you should tax your brain, how I can preach. First to myself, then to others. Janma sardak kare karo paropakar. First to preach yourself, how I can be in Krishna consciousness each and every moment. Surrender doesn't mean it's a one-time job or 1 hour job or 1 day job. It's an each and every moment how I can surrender. It's not like while taking initiation, then I'll surrender, then that's it, I am done, goal of life is achieved. Hari Bol. Now from that moment to each moment, it is becoming challenging. Of course, I am not speaking out of realization, it is challenging for me also. How in that each moment, how I can surrender. Then Krishna reveals. Because if you are not interested in Krishna, then naturally Krishna will also not interfere in your independence. Because he has given that freedom. The love has to come naturally. You cannot force anybody to love. Like we see in the material world, if you don't love me, We see that again. This example may be applied here also. If you don't love me, either I will kill you or I will kill myself. Correct? Love cannot be forced in the material worlds also. I cannot ask you to love me, serve me, do this, do that. I will pay you. Then only you do that. But if I don't pay you, still it should come naturally. How will it come naturally? It won't come. So Krishna also doesn't interfere in our independence, doesn't interfere in our thoughts. He gives you everything. This is the best and this is not. At the end of Bhagavad Gita, given that transcendental knowledge, he says that whatever the knowledge which I have given, it is for you, and the most confidential knowledge. If you think that it is better, you start fighting. If you think that, then give up. Then Arjuna says, Karishye vachanantava. Then he says, I will do it. So, my point is that it is impossible for the ordinary people to know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is impossible for the ordinary people to come in contact with the Krishna consciousness movement. It is impossible for them know to what is the goal of life other than eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Now it has been possible. Those who are sitting here, those who are hearing, those who are come in contact with this moment, they know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they know who is Krishna, and they know where to go. Just like when I'll end with this one, if you are stuck somewhere in the middle of the road, you should, if you are wanting to call a friend, and you immediately will ask, share your location, send me your location, at least tell the boats, at least name the street so that I can come and pick up you. Correct? So, people in this age they don't know where they are, they don't know what they are doing, they don't know what is the source of happiness, they don't know how I can reach there. But there are only few people who come in contact by the mercy of the devotees and acharyas with them. They know where they are and they know where to go. And now the thing is that they have to endeavor for that. When they endeavor for that, Krishna will reciprocate. If they don't endeavor, then you lose a chance. When you have endeavor, it makes sense. When you read and hear, because every day our mind has to remind. That's a thing. So therefore this process is simple for glorifying the Lord by chanting the holy names, essential in this age. So such a devotional process, chanting the holy name of the Lord, worshipping the deity, are elaborately described. This is very easy process, but at the same time, there we have to invest our consciousness, invest our energy, invest our time. Then only higher things can come. The cheaper things can come just like that. When you just, if you want to get some kind of a happiness or some kind of a thrill, you just take out your smartphone, type horror movie, you'll get thrilled. Or action movie, or something, excitement, comedy movie. Now they are also categorized everything, horror movie and comedy movie, thrill movie, and A certificate movie, and this movie, that movie, categorize that thing. So you just open, you'll get that moment, and rest you'll be thinking. That's why when people want to get a break from their routine life, they do these four things. One is either they go to the movie, or second thing they go on for some kind of a recreations out of the city. Third thing, they take shelter of, or they take intoxication. Fourth thing, they will go to sleep. They go to sleep. Interestingly, all these four things, it will end at certain point. If you start a movie, it will end. after 2 hours or 3 hours. You feel same person. And the second thing which I told is they go to a vacation. As long as your account is full, the amount is there, the money is there in your bank account, you can keep enjoying. After that, you will get bored. And the third thing which I told is intoxication, whether it can be drugs or alcohol. How much it can keep you cover? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, overnight. Next day you are the same person. And sleep. And how much you can sleep. Even in the in particular time when you sleep, you will be disturbed because either by dreams, bad dreams, or something which is you don't like to see, it will come into your dream. So these four things are coming. So I will stop here. Any questions? Comments, corrections?
Krishna. So when you're talking about different things for different people, like you're giving examples of sannyasis, how every sannyasi is pro in something else, so Krishna consciousness is not monotonous. I fully agree with that. At the same time, we find that a specific importance has been given to Shravanam and Kirtanam for Smaranam to happen. Because Prabhupada instituted morning program, in that one is Kirtanam and another is Shravanam. Again, Bhagavatam class is there. Then we have Nectar of Devotion also talking about Sadharma Pricha. So you ask the spiritual master. So can we say that Shravanam and Kirtanam are absolutely necessary for one to advance in spiritual life, and the rest of the things they can then go on as per one's inclination? But meaning, like if one says I want to only serve, or I want to only do kirtan, I don't want to hear anything, or I want to only do preaching but I don't want to hear myself anything. So some thoughts on that.
Good question. This Shravanam and Kirtanam is a root cause of all the things, all the other part of devotional service. Just like it is a fountainhead of all the things. Just like if a person is prominent in some aspect of devotional service, like if he is expert in kirtan or playing instrument or giving seminars, he has to hear. Because when you don't hear, what will happen is that you will become proud, first thing. When the proudness comes, the next thing is fall down. So, we might have known that so many big things, big devotees have fallen down because they have neglected that part of Shravanam Kirtanam. Because Kirtanam not only means doing kirtan, chanting on regular basis, 16 rounds minimum. It says minimum means you can chant more also. If I say, again, sorry, I'm giving the same example for eating. If I say you should eat one minimum gulab jamun, that means what? You can eat more also. If I say you should eat 1 spoon rice minimum, in that way minimum will not fill your stomach. Similarly, the 16 rounds is minimum. So the more you chant, the more you get the taste. So the root cause is Prabhupada, you see, he used to read his own books. It's not that to show off. It's that because Krishna has dictated and there is something in that books. And Srila Prabhupada used to hear his own lectures. Right? Because the root cause of Shravanam Kirtanam is very, 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 very prominent. If you neglect that part, Shravanam Kirtanam, then whatever you do, it is going to be a path of leads which fall down. Because all the sannyasis, all the great stalwarts devotees, I'm sure that there will be a time where they take strong shelter in Shravanam. See, and Arjuna, in the middle of crisis, he took the shelter of Shravanam only. He heard Bhagavad Gita. And though he is in friendship with Krishna, correct? Because why? Because he, at that time, the knowledge was covered. You know, one may say that okay, Krishna wanted to cover to the knowledge. Okay, but that aspect is we agree. But at the same time, the knowledge is covered to come out of this transcendental knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Madhvacharya gives an interesting example or interesting logic why knowledge is covered only to Arjuna. Because we see lunar eclipse, sun and moon is when moon is full, the Rahu covers Rahu that planet. It doesn't covers the stars. It doesn't covers the something else. It covers the moon. Because why? Because moon is full of color, white. Similarly, the knowledge only, the ignorance only covers the fully person who is knowledgeable, so that this transcendental knowledge can come out. So, again coming to the point where, as far as I know, that if a person is neglected Shravanam Kirtanam, then definitely there will be a downfall. Through that, he can manifest some things like, doing, somebody may be prominent in Sevanam, Pada Sevanam, or just somebody may be prominent in doing deity worship, because they heard so many things, because they heard so many pastimes of the deities. That's why they become attached to the deities. Some devotees may only attach to the, doing what you called cooking, because they heard that so many things of cooking. That's why this disease is a root cause. But at the same time, when the more you hear, the more you become enlightened. This is a punchline. The less you hear, the less you become enlightened. One should hear more. I hope this will. Is it good? Thank you. Any other things? Alright, it's 8:27. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Thai Gaur Premanande.